show, and I'm your host, Broadway, aka the Big Homie. And tonight is special.
That's right.
We're gonna touch on some things that we try to touch on all the time, but we're gonna get down deep because we got somebody here in front. So to my right, as usual, my co-defendant, my master Cicerone, my homeboy, another hip hop alumni, another hip hop analyst, life analyst, my man Shaggy. What's up, brother?
Y'all, G.I.D.D.Y. Glad to be here, glad to see everybody.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
And on the other end, we got my man Paul Clark. Well, I didn't even mean to do that because, see how I rushed into it? It wasn't supposed to happen like that. I'm sorry. I just let you do it yourself.
I've been working on my smile for like, when I first doing it, like 2 weeks ago. So then it's I'm Paul Clark.
I like it. I like it because the more subtle you, it's not so hard. It's like you're approachable now.
Hey, you don't gotta ask me.
It's like you're approachable. Like, is that Paul? Yeah. That's cool. And behind the cameras, behind the lights, behind these late nights, without him would be no us. What's up, Playboy?
I think I'm gonna be up all night tonight. So.
You definitely gonna be up all night.
You got in there some caffeine,
little lean,
espresso, slushy.
Got a little lean in here, baby. You be up, baby.
I'll drink that shit. That's
So I can't hold my tongue much longer. We got somebody in here special tonight, a lady of many layers, because that's the new thing. That's what we use here to let you know how deep people go in this community and how deep people go in other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? When you things that you do and you live it to touch people's lives, that's dope. You know what I mean? And we accept all that. But in the house tonight, we have J.Alexander, mental health analyst, coach. I could drop jewels and names, but I'll let her do that. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you very much.
See that?
Thanks for hanging out with us, being part of our little thing we got here. We appreciate you.
Thank you for the invite. It's my honor and my pleasure.
All right.
We appreciate
All
that.
right.
Because over here, we don't get too many nice people. I'll tell you like that. They might want to. I'm going to leave that there. So, before we get started, because we're going to jump into this, you know what I'm saying?
Make sure you talking to the mic. You can pull it closer to you.
We're going to jump into it, but first,
I like your voice.
I love it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, okay, you can relax. Make me want to chill.
Oh, shit. You want to chill? Hey, he the madman killer around here.
Man, I'm telling you, chains and sticks and stuff, But we're going to do our toast right now because it's been a crazy week. It's been cold outside. I want to warm up today, so we want to give a toast to all our people out there checking us out, the fans and the reviewers and the listeners, and even the haters. You know what I mean? So,
and let me add, with our topic tonight. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who might be struggling in any form or fashion. You know what I'm saying? This is for you. You know what I'm saying? You got love out here, and we're gonna help y'all through it the best way we know how.
Cheers.
I ain't gonna lie.
And also for you over there, lady. Now that was something. So let's jump into it.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna get the ball rolling if you don't mind. Could you give us just a little bit of a background on you? You know what I'm saying? Where you from? How you ended up? From where you started off and how you ended up into the place you are right now, as far as mental health.
Okay, certainly. I'm born here in Ohio. My dad was in the Air Force station at Rickenbacker at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Air Force baby. At some point, I decided I wanted to take care of all people, so I went to nursing school.
All right.
I obtained a bachelor's degree in nursing.
Mm.
When I got burned out, I wasn't finished taking care of people, and I learned that social workers did the same thing, but in a different manner with a different perspectives. So I went to school to become a social worker. I obtained my master's there, and I also have a degree in theology.
All right. Thank you, Lord
You
Jesus.
just like
That
school.
macaroni and cheese.
Just like school. I'm feeling that. 'Cause-
Education, though.
Yeah, that's what at later.
Nothing is something no one can ever take care of.
Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly. Yeah, technical difficulties. All right. All right.
Trying to steal my smile.
Okay.
I moved back to Columbus in 2014. I'm a licensed clinician here. I work for Ohio Health and Net Care. I'm a crisis clinician in Net Care. I ride mobile crisis with the police.
That's
Okay.
So you work for Ohio Health, and I got Ohio Health.
Come
How
on
about
now.
that? You know what I'm saying? Let's give it up for that. Connecting the dots. Hey, we are connected in many ways. So, go ahead. Joe.
Okay, so what I imagine is you have seen a lot when it comes to mental illness. And we had a show before we kind of touched on the fact that mental health and mental illness is more often than not two separate things. Everyone has mental health, not everyone has a mental illness. But I'm sure, am I right there?
I'm listening. Come on.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
I will, but finish your statement.
Okay, so not everyone. What I'm saying is, I'm sure you've seen from one extreme to the other. You know, so share some stories or a thought process about mental illness and mental health and some of the things you've seen.
Okay, if I'm understanding your statement correctly, like Broadway says, there are levels.
Right.
And because there are levels associated with mental illness, it might make it seem as if they're two different things, but it's really not. So, say we have Bob and he's bipolar, but he's medication compliant, and has good control of his illness, which he's receiving medical medication for. But then you have Tony over here who is not medication compliant, who often goes manic and has psychotic breaks. Because his inability to take care of himself and have some type of control over his illness, it makes him look just off the chain, off the hook. And people say he's ill. They're both ill.
Right.
Just on two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right. So my thought process is more to the fact, like, say there are some mild cases, or say all of us sitting here, we have mental health, which means we can be smooth and easy. We can have down days. It's not as intense as what I would consider to be a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? So that's, in my mind, that's where I divide or was making a distinction between one or the other. You know what I'm saying? We all have mental health. We all need to take care of ourselves mentally, you know, just as well as physically, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Like levels, you know what I'm saying? But we might not necessarily be diagnosed with an illness or a label per se, you know what I'm saying? So I check with my homies every day. How you feeling? I love you, you know what I'm saying? And that's part of, in my mind, mental health. Whereas mental illness might require medication or someone to step in and, you know, help you through the situation.
Okay, so my question to you is, yes, we all have some type of mental issue. Everybody has something. But the reason why it's not an illness to you is because they haven't been diagnosed by a doctor.
So you're saying we can all be diagnosed with something?
Yeah.
And that's something I was thinking about, to where when we spoke about it before, it was on my mind. And once we started preparing for this, that was a question I wanted to ask. How do you distinguish the difference? Because I see now that they label things, you know, everybody, they say ADHD or ADD and different things like that, or bipolar. But when we were growing up as kids, there's a lot of kids that wasn't diagnosed. You know what I'm saying? To me, like I seen, you know, where we didn't know Bobby was really something needed medication. You know what I mean? Like
Everybody said Bobby was bad.
that he was just bad. You know what I mean? He would get in trouble all the time.
The studies were,
But he would never.
They weren't there.
Nobody took him to, you know, they never looked further
Mm-hmm.
to see if it may be something else. You know what I mean? How you can't sit in the classroom long, or it's just a fight every day or something like that. Like, what do you say about understanding the mental health? Like how people don't know. What would somebody, you know, how would you go about figuring that out?
It was a good place for a lay person like myself who made these two distinctions, which apparently I was wrong. Where did we start at? You know what I'm saying? Where did we start at?
wrong now.
Where did we start at being able to either identify or maybe even help a loved one like Paul?
Okay, a good place to begin is educating yourself, becoming aware, because for so many years, this was taboo for people of color.
Definitely.
Not just Black people, Hispanic, Latino, Asian. This is taboo for many cultures to talk about. Think about it when we were, especially low income, live in the hills or from deep in the South. We all had a Uncle Ray or somebody that was always in the back room. We took him a plate, went and got the plate. Don't bother Uncle Ray. And it's just taboo. Now, it's important for our children and our generation's future to break the curse, to break the taboo. It is. Very.
That's why you hear like you act just like your mom, you act just like your so-and-so. But I gotta believe that, okay, you know how like, we are not medical doctors, nobody, but you can look at somebody and say, you got a cold, because you see them sniffling and all that right there. You know what I'm saying? We can diagnose people because of, you know, we see it every day. But what people don't do is, you know, diagnose, you know what I'm saying, mental illness in people. You know what I'm saying? If we make it normal to know mental illness, we can identify with it quickly, and it's the way you treat people when you know that you act just like your damn sister. You know what I'm saying? Because they both, you know what I'm saying, you know, got some type of mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're narcissistic, you know what I'm saying? And like you act like this person, this person, this person. If you don't deal with it and try to find ways to walk around it, because a lot of people cut people off. I don't mess with her no more. Why? She crazy. No, she's going through a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a bipolarness, you know what I'm saying? People keep saying bipolar like a tough one. You know what I'm saying? But there's also one that's a depression bipolarness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people are going through.
Yes. Very much so.
So what are some causes of mental health?
Is it hereditary or?
Yes.
There are some things that can be said that are hereditary. I think a lot has to do with how we've been taught culturally how to deal with things. A lot of it, so yeah, especially related to trauma, or just related to trauma. Seeing dad beat up mom, you know, there used to be a thing back in the day. Whatever happened in this house stays in this house, whether it was physical abuse, sexual abuse, alcoholism, drugs, addiction. And we just were never taught how to deal with it in a healthy manner. It's always been sweeping under the rug. It's a secret, don't tell anybody. And at some point, enough secrets causes anxiety. Enough secrets cause you to be in a depression. You're not happy all you know is all these things have happened. And you don't have any happy outlet or any way to release.
And you gotta, I don't want nobody to know about it.
Shame and guilt.
Because I don't need to be arguing with you and you throw it up in my face in front of everybody. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta keep it to you don't want nobody in your business. But there's people that can help you. You know, so sometimes we worry about some of the most easiest things that we can do to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody taught me this too. It's a nasty story. But, and I ain't gonna say her name, but we would always we had crushes on each other real hard. We was grown too, but we never did anything. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like, you nasty, I know you nasty. She's beautiful, you nasty. And she looked at me like, you nasty, I heard about you, you nasty. You know what I'm saying? But one day it could have went on and shit, and I was like, nah, you don't want these problems. And she was like, why? And I was like, 'cause I got crabs. She said, that ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? She said, I got the shampoo for it, but you gotta get your own comb. See, something that was weighing on my head, like, I gotta go through this motherfucker down. These people like, I don't wanna go through that right there. But it was something that was nothing. And I made it something big. It was something, the solution is so easy. I didn't know it was over the counter or nothing. But there's stuff like that I take and I evolve.
You're right.
Yeah. But you know what? That is very true.
Yes. That has no secret to the day. Something can happen to me. If I tell you about it, you may be like, that's fucked up. But you go over here and be like, oh, boy, that ain't nothing. All you gotta do is just take these pills. Yeah. So just, we got too many secrets that don't mean shit.
That is so true.
So growing up in the house with a person with a mental illness, I think that the kids seeing the mental illness, they get used to it. Mm-hmm. They adapt to it and just it becomes normal.
Then you bring
Can it wear off on them?
What do you mean by wear off?
Like wear off on, like if they see a mom spazzing out or spazz out 1 minute, cool the next minute, spazz out 1 minute, cool the next minute. Can that wear off on them, or can they?
So I
pick up those traits.
Yes, that's what I'm giving you. Ask for clarification. So yeah, kids learn by example.
Okay.
And if their example to handling stress is going to get a drink, or shooting up, or screaming, or hollering, those are the things. Yeah, just negative ways of coping. Okay. Those are the things that they take into their adulthood.
Okay. So. Would that still be considered, like, say, mom or dad? What I also know is that energy attracts. If you got this type of energy, you're going to attract a like energy. So y'all get together, y'all have kids. So say mom and dad probably both got some mental health issues, but mom is diagnosed as bipolar, just because Paul brought that up. You know what I'm saying? Would you consider the kids bipolar if they're just in these environments and learning from these environments, and like you said, bad ways of coping? Is that still considered bipolar? You know what I'm saying? Is it?
No, I'm not going to say that makes the kids automatically bipolar. It's okay. Let me tell you something about behavior. There's a theory called the learning theory. What you learn becomes your behavior. You can learn things that are healthy, and you have societal good behavior, and you're able to be productive in society, or you have bad habits, which they label as malbehavior. So a lot of our kids, because of the environment that they're in, they're labeled as having anger issues, conduct issues, opposition defiant issues. Those are the labels that our children are receiving now because of the environment that they are now living in or growing up in.
I'm sorry, Paul, but do you think that it's fair that they get these labels when it's a learned behavior more so than, you know what I'm saying, imbalance, or, you know what I'm saying, something going on mentally?
Not necessarily. However, there are agencies that are going into schools, and if parents would be more open to the counseling, if parents would be more open, if parents would be more transparent and truthful, instead of it being like pulling teeth without Novocaine. If they looked at this as, this is a way to help my child get from up under these labels, to get out of this IEP, to get out of this constant discipline, or the principal or the teachers always calling on my child getting suspended. If the parents will put on different glasses and look with different lenses, they will find out not only will they help their child and encourage their child to find different ways to cope with whatever's happening in school. If Billy is always
Right.
more cases specific, I have a niece, and the boy kept doing her like this. And her cousin, my grandson, had taught her how to 1-2 because he was boxing. And guess what? She laid him out. Okay, the first time she had ever been in trouble in school, they're in the 3rd grade. They made such a huge thing, that baby cried for over a month.
Yeah, it's because she knocked him out. Because she gave him one.
No, my niece cried.
Oh,
But he had been bothering her. And so it took, I know, probably another 2 months to get her back to a place of homeostasis. Nobody has the right to put their hands on you and make you feel bad. So what, he hit the ground. I don't condone violence, but you were defending yourself. The teacher was not helping you.
Man, when you say that, it makes me think about the fact that black people in society are already looked at or labeled violent, angry. Oh, we saying like this is my little thing, they give me the shit about it. But true indeed though, right? When people think about black people, they're always saying that, you know what I'm saying, we violent or we got...
Niggas is crazy.
That's what I was trying to say.
Get it out!
Niggas is crazy.
Niggas is crazy. But I feel
when
what
you
you
say, you
said
gotta
when
say
you
that
said
all the
that.
way around the board though. Because when we look at y'all, you know what I'm saying, you know, the poor, white, trash, white boys is crazy. We got a billion white boys is crazy. So I think when people say, what I don't like is when people put things as a black thing to do. When it's a poor person thing. Poor people
You are
act
so
alike.
right. You are
And
very
they,
right.
you don't
That's
still go
false.
because you're black. Poor people do that. You know what I'm saying? Poor people hang around at late nights because they got nowhere to go in the morning and shit, and they drinking. Poor people do that.
So
Don't
let me
say that's
ask you.
niggas for you. White people fight in clubs and bars
Jay,
too.
would you say that there is a stigma with being black? Or how do we want to say it? Like they automatically assume that we are a certain way, whether I'm talking about society as a whole.
Yeah,
Am I right in saying that?
there are stigmas and there are stereotypes. That is
Yeah.
very real.
So that's what I'm speaking to. I ain't saying like we got it worse than another poor Asian or anybody else that's poor. I'm just saying like in the system that we live in, black people are already we already starting off behind because of stereotypes and, you know what I'm saying, preconceived notions.
So, and the perfect example of what I'm saying, what you just said, it makes it even worse, is for you to be an African American and sit there and look at somebody and say, that's some nigga shit right there. So it's already put the labels on you, and so you gonna add to the labels and blame nigga shit on shit poor people do. Look at him over there stealing out the Family Dollar. Poor people steal out the Family Dollar, not black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put everything negative on black. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit though, in
You
all
gotta-
situations,
You get that same black person
for crime.
$450,000, they wouldn't be stealing down no Family Dollar. You know what I'm saying? They're not poor no more. All the poor stuff will disappear. When you pull up at their house, don't be blasting that music. You ain't in the hood no more. They gonna check you because they're not poor no more, so you're no longer gonna be poor shit.
But you gotta admit that black people are put in as she said, stereotypical situation. We are already stereotyped, whether we are the same, or doing the same, living the same, or what. It's just already there. It's easier for them to say that.
So you can't put the
to
blame
write
on
us off.
it if you
There's no blame.
No, you can't say, okay, they already stereotyping, and then we do it too. That's what I'm saying. Like, we gotta stop saying that's some nigga shit for you. There's some people fighting in the bar, you know?
You know what? I realize what you're saying now. You're right.
Yeah.
It's just like, have y'all ever heard of the brown paper bag?
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, if you were not as light as the paper bag or lighter, you couldn't get in the party. light-skinned people,
That's
down
not
dark-skinned
right.
people.
No.
You know, it's a song that Gladys Knight sings, and she's singing to her man. She said, I support you. You already got 2 strikes against you automatically. You black and you a man. And as people of color, we tend to, especially when we get a little money, we get a little down and out.
Yeah.
That's that's one thing I pray, and God just always keep me grounded.
Because when you were saying about my mom had me in counseling as a kid, and I think looking back in hindsight, looking at it then, and she didn't care like the way females, and I would just put it on females, parents today. It's like they just choose not to have their kids checked out or looked at or talked to or spoke to somebody, have them any testing or anything done. But my mom did with me. And I used to go to a counselor after school. I used to go to a place on Saturdays. As a matter of fact, it used to be on James Road, right next to that where the plaza is. And dude would be there to talk and do work and my schoolwork or exercises basically. And I can't say it helped, but I think it did help because I went on to be seeing counselors throughout middle school and high school and early into my college days. So when I see some stuff, I think when some people have certain feelings about certain things or the way they feel about a lot of stuff, it don't really hit me in the same way because early on I was already
beginning working on going through the process.
Yeah, like
acknowledging and
exactly.
working through whatever.
And it's like so I look at stuff like I already be looking at stuff like like I ain't well, you know what I'm saying? But I just look at it in a different way than a lot of other people do to be around me. And I think some of those people that they may need to talk to somebody too. There's a lot of people out here that need to speak to somebody and get some clarity on what they're dealing with themselves. Because I'm not for sure about it, but I just said from that I look at things different. I feel different about myself than a lot of other people that have been through the same exact thing. And as far as mental health, I think if I don't know if it was mental health or mental illness or just learning there's something possibly wrong with the kid. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of do a psych evaluation with almost everybody that I meet, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody. If you do something that kind of stands out and it's repetitive and it's over, I'm going to find out like what mental illness it is that you have and dealing with, you know what I'm saying? And not that day, you know what I'm saying? I got to keep seeing you over and you just keep doing that right there, you know what I'm saying? You got to look into it right there so you know how to deal with them, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my brother, I can't cut you off, or that's my cousin, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people cut people off. But you got people who mimic other people with mental illness. Like, it's like cool. They don't even know that person has a mental illness. They just know when they talk, they clap their hands, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you repeating this like as if it's cool or something? You know what I'm saying? I wish a motherfucker would. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? That person over there wish somebody would do something because he's a violent person. You know what I'm saying? You just mimicking what you see him do or her do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, and the talking, like, that there's some narcissistic people out here who does things for attention. You know what I'm saying? And it's that cool that you gonna copy that? Now every time you turn around, it's the same thing. So it's hard to see who really had the, mental illness and who's just copying somebody. Because you're not bipolar, you can't even fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do people do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm already bipolar and I ain't took my, no, you're not, there's nothing wrong.
If you said it in a sentence, you ain't it.
Yeah, so, nothing, you just go at it.
So can this mental illness be traced back to further than slavery?
Yeah.
Back to when we were so-called in Africa. in the jungle or whatever. Can it be
In the jungle? Oh,
You know,
I mean, I'm just saying that's what they told us. We was over the jungle. They came to capture us.
okay, so that you know, I have been to Africa twice. And yes, they do have jungles, but people don't live there.
Okay.
Africa, no,
No,
not
they
even
call
the
it-
bush.
they call it bush.
You know how they show, okay, so this is a perfect example. When I was there, they were like, do you have the guts? Do you drink 40s? Let me see you drop it. And I'm like, what do you,
What part of America you think I'm from, man?
yeah, I'm like, what do
TV.
you, where do you see, this what they show us? I said, oh, well, let me tell you, on TV in America, y'all swing from trees like monkeys.
But it's all
face breaker.
It's
Hold on,
all
wait.
you see what you want to see. Because I had to tell a dude this right there. He said when he got to America, he was pissed off because on TV when they watch us, everybody is beautiful, like Janet Jackson and you know everybody's just beautiful. And that's what he's saying. Everybody is like Halle Berry and Will Smith and all that. And when he got here, like what the fuck? I said everybody on TV that you was watching, you know what I'm saying? There's a Forrest Whitaker, you know what I'm saying? You had to have seen Roseanne Barr. In the background, you targeted what you wanted to target. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do all over. That's what creates, you know what I'm saying, kind of like racism. You know what I'm saying? You just stereotype off what you
Race
see.
within race.
And then when you hear it, it's like that's different.
And most Africans look at African Americans as we are beneath them. I have had some Africans tell me that.
Yeah, they treat you. I don't care where you
They
eat.
say-
Buy
they say
food at
this
their
is-
restaurant or they
They say
stand, but they
disrespectful.
treat you this. They don't treat you the same.
Then they become us. Then they become Americanized. You know what I'm saying? Like you came over here real proper. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, get shit. You don't want to get in no trouble. So you got to deal with women. You know what I'm saying? Like African Americans, they say is a whole race. You know what I'm saying? It's like they never met another black person like an African American. We are very disrespectful. You go in an elevator, it's only an African American gonna say, "What the fuck is that smell? Oh my god!" You know what I'm saying? Your break
So it's
room.
like-
No, I'm listening. I work with a bunch of them, and it's like. No, we talking about people from Africa, Nigerians, Somalis. And they say
African.
people from Africa, from different countries in
We
Africa,
niggas.
when they get here,
No.
Asians don't say negative shit about them. You know what I'm saying? Whites don't. You know what I'm saying? When they food come out the microwave at lunch, it's only an African American that say, "Oh, what the fuck is that smell?" Like, we very disrespectful and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that makes them like really not like you. You think we live in bushes and all kind of shit? They like motherfucker told a motherfucker in the shop, you know, that I ain't never seen a fucking lion. I ain't never seen that shit that y'all trying to say that we come from and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's showing pictures and shit. I'm from the city, motherfucker.
Yeah,
and
they
shit.
live
Like,
in
you know what I'm
cities.
saying? I'm over here for something completely different. Not from what the fuck y'all think.
Yeah, they do have
So
money.
the reason we think that is because the white people been showing us that.
No,
So,
that's what you want to
correct.
see. Like I said right here.
Yeah.
When Nelson Mandela was in court, where was some bushes at? Nothing. You seen their downtown. You seen
I'm
all of
just
that.
saying.
But this is what I sit there right here. When I go to Africa, guess what I want to see? Shit that's not here. So of course when I go to Australia, I want to see kangaroos. Don't show me some downtown buildings. We got that shit here and shit. I do want to see some.
Everybody
But that's
got
what you're
downtown
going.
buildings.
You're going to the zoo.
Everybody
In
got
Australia, they do got a little trail thing that you want, and you see the real wildlife.
Yes.
and shit.
But there is a wildlife reservation with a zoo.
Yeah, but that's what
We call it a zoo.
I want to
They
see.
call it a
I want to
reservation.
see a real life lion, real close up. Like, ooh, I just seen him eat a gazelle. I want to see
do
real
that
shit.
here.
You can't see no. They got it separated. The gazelles ain't in there with the lions. Ain't no
No,
giraffe.
ain't no
with the lions.
no, because the lion gonna eat it.
Yeah, so I want to see like real shit. I want to know if I go to Japan, I want to see technology. If I go to China, I want to see a karate fight. Somebody who they fight, I want to see some fight. I gotta take some
Stop saying
ingredients.
karate.
Some different. I mean, some chicken from Africa, kitchen where they know ingredients, with some this, and I want a brisket. I like my cornbread this. Pick up the phone, come get this. They got the biggest sandwiches. Ha. They go, Jesus, is that macaroni and cheese?
Yep.
Is that macaroni and cheese?
Yep.
Is that macaroni and cheese?
Our famous kitchen. Holler at us, we got you.
Then you go to the number 532-9858. Holla at.